Today on Scrapping, I am working on, well, that's not the right size. I'm working on my other go-kart. It's a Silver Fox. Mango? I don't know. But it's got a nice Subaru motor on it. This is the one I'm thinking I'm going to swap the motor from the other go-kart on for now so I can actually try it out, see what it looks like. But gotta figure out what size this is and go from there. So I'm going to take the torque converter off because it needs to be serviced anyway. It is not. It kind of is jumpier than it was when I serviced it last time. So not use the impact to get this off. Oh, my garage is a mess. So to get this off, which is your clutch part, you just do that, and this all should be greased up pretty good. So I'm gonna have to go back there and grease this. It looks greased, but it doesn't look that great. And this is how you change your belt too. Just pop this off. You put your belt on. And there's some spacers here. I don't want to lose any of this. So we're going to see just lost the washer. Well, it's the next washer. So basically, I'm just taking this motor off so I can romp the other one. So it's a good motor overall. It's free now, so I'll just leave that. So right here, it's hard to see, but I'm taking off the throttle cable. It's two Phillips head nuts. You loosen one side, and the other side just holds the cable tight, and you loosen that, and then you can just pull the throttle cable out. After this, there's me taking the motor off. All it is on the bottom side of the motor. For me, it's 4 13mm bolts. You just need to get in there with something. You can use a regular socket wrench. I used my impact gun and pulled it out. It's just you can't see anything, so it's a waste of your time watching that footage. So I took it out, and we'll continue on here. Motor's off. So I can show you exactly what needs to be done here. So the torque converter attaches on the bottom side. So battery, of course, is totally dead on this. So what you have to do is you take off the 4 bolts on the bottom, and then I took the chain off just by finagling it a little bit. And then now, which I don't really want to put this on the side because it's oil, you gotta pull out these 4. There's 4 of these, and then these are free. So I'm going to do that next. Find this. Looks like. So let's see if I can get this off real quick. So. Yeah, this is the bottom part of the torque converter with a cover. This motor is leaking from back here, so probably could use a nice cleanup. So probably not such a bad thing I'm switching it over, but we'll continue on in a few minutes. I'm going to take the motor off this other one. It's just 2 bolts here. I got to take this bolt off the end, and it's 2 bolts there. Alright, so we are going to put the base of the torque converter back on here. So, got this. This over there. So you don't actually have to take these bolts out right away. You can wait. They can come out when the motor's actually out. So it doesn't flop all over the place. These up through. What the hell's going on? This is all pretty standard, so it should just fit from motor to motor like pretty much nothing. But it just didn't look like this is going to line up. But that was just me. Because I have this motor on the side, it will probably smoke a bit when I first turn it on. So. I'm going to go too crazy tight in any of this because you'll probably break something. I'm sure if you research it, there's a torque spec for it. I'm too lazy. You can tell when it feels tight enough for me. So I'm going to tighten these down. This is just a cover, so it doesn't matter how tight you make these. Just don't want them backing out. I'm sure you shouldn't be using impact too tight in this one. It literally is a cover, so I don't care. So, next is put this back on there. Let's get the Subaru motor out of the way for the moment. This guy up through. Put the motor back on with those pegs coming down through the holes. Then I took the chain with the engine loose, so pushing it forward makes it loose. What I then did was I put the chain over this, and I have this off the ground so you can spin it. I hooked the chain on this gear and spun the wheels as I pulled it around. Now don't pinch your fingers. It's really easy to do and it's going to hurt. Once you get the chain on, just pull the engine tight and your chain is tight. That feels a little too tight to me. I'm touching the dirt over here, so that's probably the problem. So, yeah, that was fine. It's this wheel touching the dirt. So now, I just need to put my bolts up through the bottom. And we should be good to go. Well, nuts, because it's like a stud that goes through. Throw these up on here. So first thing, you got two spacers that came off the other one. Put those on. This goes this direction, because then this has to sort of sit on this. And then it crushes down on there, so. So this comes up over here. Yep, so this is free. Alright, now put this on, but it only goes one way, which is another thing. So when you do this, you gotta make sure you put this the right way. This has a certain way that this pattern goes in. Oh, I forgot. This goes in here like this. So you have to make sure it fits that way. So this goes on this direction. Need a little bit of persuasion. I'm going to re-grease this because I have to take it back out. And in here a little bit. Then this goes. You don't want to get grease on all this, the belt and everything, but this thing goes like that. This goes on like that. And this goes through the center and tighten it down. Nice and snug. Trying to figure out which socket that was. I believe it was this guy. Yep. Alright, so that's the gist of this part. You got this little guy right here. The cable goes through here and gets tightened down, and then this guy holds the other end of the cable. So you go like this, and then you got to line up. There's a hole in this. You push the cable through that. You don't really want to pull the you don't really want to pull this screw out all the way because you don't want it to fall like I did. But I pulled it out because I couldn't tell where this needs to be. So that's I need to figure out. And you push the gas. Hold it. So you want this down. So this is the interesting part because you want so this part you can just lock down. Then you need to figure out where this is supposed to go. I'm pretty sure that's Alright, so what I'm doing now is making a spring that will keep this pulled back, because this little guy is not cutting it. Looks alright, but we're going to make it better somehow. I want to hook the spring here somehow and cut off this end. That looks like it'll work. Alright, so you probably didn't see that, but all I did was take the spring, and there's a hole right here. This is just like a secondary spring for me. I just hooked it to this. This is just the cover hole. I never use the cover. I always leave it off so I can see the belt, which is starting to go already, it looks like. So that's the gist of that. So now I'm going to put the I'm going to put the carburetor back together. Just had it off so I could look at this. So this guy goes right down here. Just got to watch your, what do you call it? The choke and everything. When you put it in, you can break them off. You don't want to do that. And there's a little tube here for like the vented gases. Not a mosquito. Alright, that feels good. Alright, everything else here looks good. This goes up here. And it gets held down by this. And of course I dropped this in the dirt. Another modification you can do is make it so you can suck in more air. But that's down the road for the moment. Let's see. Alright, so let's take you through this. So, torque converter's back on, and everything's good there. I was having trouble, so I put an extra spring in to keep this all nice and loose when it doesn't need to be, nice and tight when you're not pressing the gas pedal. And the last thing I did was, and I need to just tape over this, but for the time being, it's going to be hard to see because it's dark. I just wrapped the kill wire in here and just pushed it together. This wire comes right off of the start button. So, like I said, this needs to be squished together and taped, and it should be good. I'm just going to take pliers and crimp it back down. So that's that. So I'm going to go take it for a rip and see how it goes. The go-kart, the engine swap was a success. It runs really good. I fixed the stuttering. That must have been that really not greased piece. That's part of the torque converter. Once you grease it, it seems to just run great. But yeah, I haven't gotten to open up the go-kart full speed to see how fast it goes, but it seems to have more like top-end power. But but it's hard to say if it's better than the Subaru motor. It feels like it has more power. I think that Subaru motor is a little worn out. I think it was run for years. So you can see it's leaking oil basically everywhere at this point. But this thing's got a governor, so I don't know how much more I could get out of it anyway. But the Predator motor, you know, it's a $100 motor. You can screw with it, and even if you blow it up, it is what it is. So I think more Predator mods will be on the way. Sorry, the light is probably rating it. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one.